point?
They're Div 1, yeah. So when
National League Div 1.
Yeah, when I left Brighton, there's another conversation that Nurse had with me. He said, look, we've had a good season. I'm bringing in an American, Ralph Blaylock, who was at Newcastle. So he said, again, we're going to give you the same money as you got last year, or do you want to go and play Division 1 where you could play 30, 35 minutes a game, or you're going to stay here and play 4 or 5 minutes a game? And a lot of players might have gone, I'm just going to stay because I'm in the BBL. You know, I'll happily sit on the bench, but that wasn't me. I was like, no, I'm not sitting on the bench. I want to play basketball. So I left and went for Solent, and Solent matched the money that Bears were going to give me. And that was my first season with the Solent Stars, when Alan Cunningham was my coach.
Alan Cunningham, absolute legend.
Do you remember Matt Story and Matt Crawford? Do you ever remember these guys? These two Americans that were my first. Matt Story was a complete scorer. Matt Crawford was a big man. They were
I've probably seen them. I don't recall the names, but I would have been there.
Yeah,
I would have been there.
On the old hoops, the hoops that you could get a dunk on. Do you remember the hoops before they were the thick, heavy ones that I used to have? They were very thin, padded backboards, and if you got the bounce just at the right time, you could dunk it in the warm up. The rims were old rims.
I remember in Portsmouth, who was it? Someone smashed the ring. Do you know they've got in the Mountbatten Centre, they got the big rings that come down. Someone went and dunked that, absolutely smashed, and it was almost like the whole place went, what do we do?
Yeah, there's game abandoned. You can't wheel them out.
I think they did have another basket from somewhere. They had like one that they did wheel out. I'm sure they did.
Toys R Us one. You put the water in the base,
but
lower it down.
Yeah, I remember as a kid seeing all this glass on the floor. But so in those days, was that the old Fleming Park? The Solent Stars. Yeah,
the old Fleming Park. Alan was my coach. Alan was a character himself. He's a funny guy.
Yeah,
he's a Harlem Globetrotter. Alan was a funny guy.
He was a Harlem Globetrotter. Yeah.
He used to look at me and think, dude, your shoulders are so wide. He's a big guy. He was an alright coach. He used to fire us up. He used to get us going.
I was going to say, how did he translate from going to player to coach?
I think secretly he would have loved to have been player coach.
Yeah.
But at that point, I played for him and his assistant.
It is interesting to see the trajectory of some players where they suddenly become coaches and you go, oh, okay.
Well, don't forget Alan Cunningham by this point. I mean, he must have been 40 something, mustn't he?
Nearly 50, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Alan could have stepped on the court and got 10, 15 rebounds if he wanted to in that division.
Yeah.
But he just, he was on the sidelines coaching. But he had us. That was my first experience training at 9 to 11 in the evening. On a Tuesday night, we used to train 9 to 11 at Fleming Park. You'd go home, you'd be like, right, I'm starving, eat, go to bed at like 1. It was a bit nuts. 9 to 11. It was hard to motivate yourself to play basketball at 9 o'clock at night.
Jeez, do you eat after?
That's it. It's like, and then a lot
Can't
of guys
get a drive through there, then, can you?
A lot of guys had to get up, go to work. Yeah, 9 to 11 on a Tuesday. A lot of guys will tell you that was a bit challenging.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got two parts to this question, and it's the transition that you went from BBL to the NBL.
Yeah.
What was that like in terms of the actual basketball, but also in terms of like you as a person, because you were talking about, getting into architecture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, oh, I need to go get a job.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the two parts of my question. What's that transition like?
The first bit was you started to see the difference in professionalism. Like, we weren't training every day. Guys weren't all going to the gym. And like half of your bench obviously had full-time jobs. So now you've gone from guys that just committed their life to basketball, all of us in the weight room training, traveling together, that side of the BBL. And then you went to Div 1 where guys trained twice a week, late nights. Not everyone could make it every week. Some people, like I said, had jobs. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, right, I need to find a second source of income. I've got all this free time. So I set up my own little coaching company, going into primary schools and charging kids to like sessions for an hour every day. Made a bit of money doing that. And then I joined NatWest Bank because I was trying to find stuff to do with my time. So I was on the telephones at bloody NatWest Bank. So you went from BBL, where you didn't have to worry about none of that, to now this is reality. But I was playing 38 minutes a game. Loved it. I didn't.
That makes a big difference.
I just got to play. and
Yeah.
it was more relaxed. I didn't have
If you
Americans creeping up your heels.
if you could be critical to yourself,
Yeah.
did your standard of basketball improve?
I think, yeah, due to the amount of time I had on the court.
Hand on the ball.
There were still 2 Americans in every team. Yeah, and there were some very good Americans. You have Ralph Bucci up in Newcastle that could play. Jason Swain was at Teesside after he left Manchester. E.J. Harrison was at Reading. I mean, these guys could play. So every team had 2 Americans that kind of just equaled themselves out, and then whoever had the best British team was going to win it. And it was always the likes of Manchester were very good at the time, Manchester Giants. Yeah, Reading Rockets that were quite tough at the time. So yeah, and then you had the London United, the younger boys from London coming through the ranks. So yeah, it was challenging. I felt it more competitive in Div 1 than the BBL.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just because everyone was kind of like on it even. The playing field was a little more even, whereas the BBL, yeah, you had some very good Americans, and you were kind of fighting it out with London Towers. Birmingham Bullets were pretty tough, and then ourselves. Manchester Giants were massive at the time, and Sheffield Sharks. They were just drawing in all of the top athletes. So yeah, Division 1 was fun.
I don't know why this popped in my mind, but please tell me when you're working at the bank, when you phone someone and someone's like, Mark Jackson?
No,
you're phoning me.
You're not allowed to say that. It was interesting job. I worked at 9 till 2. I used to just be like, hi, welcome to NatWest, how can I help you? And then you have guys go, how much money have I got in my bank? And you'd have to tell them. And then they'd be like, you took money out of my account. I didn't take it out of your account. Some direct debits come out, mate. It's your problem. But then there'd be times where someone's talking to you and you'd just be like, oh, I'm done. And you just like hang up on them. So I was that guy. Or if it rings, the phone's ringing and it's like 3 minutes before clocking off time, that phone's just ringing. No one's answering that phone.
Or double click.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been amazing. You're talking to someone saying, I recognise your voice.
I worked for NatWest.
Wow.
Did you?
6 months.
What, on the phones?
Nah, well, I actually, weirdly, I got behind the till a few times,
Oh,
believe
did
it or not. Yeah. I was there to do the IT because when they merged with Royal Bank of Scotland,
Yeah.
they were merging their systems.
That's right, yeah.
And I got some random temp job for 6 months as part of doing that project.
Yeah.
They were then getting short-handed and they were like, do you want to jump on that? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's fine. All you got to do is just take these things and swipe it from here. And they literally gave me a crash course one afternoon. Just do this stuff. If you're not sure, just ask the person next to you.
Yep.
Seriously, and they're like, yeah, because we haven't done this thing yet and whatever. And if you're bored, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me. It's weird. They wouldn't let me do some things, but they're quite happy for me to handle people's money and put it in and out their bank. Makes no sense to me at all.
No.
I was like, just get me out there to chat to people.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
It was nuts. They used to make you go to work in bloody shirt and tie and trousers. I'm like, I'm on the phone here. Why do I need to be wearing shirt, tie and trousers? It's a bit daft. But
That
you did
is-
it. It's just extra money.
So I find it fascinating that you were enjoying your basketball more because you got more court time.
Yeah.
And
The minutes make a big
they
difference,
make
isn't
a
it?
huge difference, don't they?
Yeah, because I was able to play the one and then play my style of basketball as
Mhm.
opposed to backing up Americans and just you'd always back in the BBL used to be like, right, don't mess up. If you mess up, you're probably coming out. Whereas in the Division 1 it was a case of I was more not the superstar-y type word is a bad word, but you come down from the BBL, you are a BBL player, you're given more responsibility, you're allowed to be more freedom, you can play your way, you didn't get grilled out as much as you would have done in the BBL if you turned the ball over once or twice. You were seen to be we need you to score, you've come down to help us. You're now like there was 5 Americans in the BBL and there's 2 Americans in Div 1. You were kind of like on that caliber with those Americans. You've come down to help. So yeah, you had a bit more freedom in Div 1, which I enjoyed.
And so what happened then? So how long did that transition between the Solent Stars and the Trailblazers?
So I was there I was probably at Solent, I don't even know how many years, 4 or 5 years
yeah,
maybe.
it was a while.
I was there a while, yeah, because it was local, loved playing it. Fleming Park was buzzing. And then, I don't know what it was, whether it was politics or something with the owners, and it just didn't feel right. And then Sylvan Donu came in as assistant coach for Solent Stars when I was there, and I really loved playing for Sylvan. And then we were just having some conversation, and we didn't like the way the club was being run at the time by the men's setup. It was separate from the juniors, and we didn't like it was being organised. So we said, let's just set our own one up. Because I was coaching for Blazers at the time. So you had Blazers junior program, you had Solent's junior program. I was playing for Solent member, I was coaching for juniors at Blazers. And I knew the committee quite well, and I'd been there for years coaching, and they always said they wanted a men's team. So we were like, let's just set one up and see what happens and enter Division 4. So a lot of the guys left Solent and came with us. So Anthony Rutter, David Butterworth. And we
took half the squad.
Yeah, we took a few guys that were just like, it's not for me, I don't like the way it's being run. So we went and played for Blazers, entered Div 4. We went in 16-0 with Sylvan, like Div 4.
Oh, this
16-0.
So
yeah,
this is where...
When I look at it, I think, man, we went 16-0. And then you go, it was Div 4, and we'd come down from Div 1 type thing, some of the players. So we should have won.
How do you keep your skills up in that instance? Because if you're there steamrolling everyone, people take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, it's tough at times. But yeah, going 16, that was league and cup games. It was fun to play. Because I was playing now with kids I either coached, like David Butterworth, and there was a kid, Dan Clark, came back from America, who was very talented. And then we had Sylvan, Paul Silcox. We had a good team, and Sylvan was at the helm. So then we won Div 4, moved up to Div 3, did well there. Obviously played you guys at Portsmouth, no, in Division 2.
Div 2, I think it was,
up. And then after that's when I retired. It was a bit a case of, right, I'm having a family now, time to, call it a day and stop playing. But then the itch comes. So everyone will tease me and say, you've retired like twice. How many times are you going to retire, Jax? You've retired like twice. Because I quit and then I came back and played. Then I had another season off, then I played. I just can't stop playing.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever retire, man. You just keep playing at different levels.
But the thing I would say about Jax is his actual ability. I mean, look, he's an ex-BBL player. His longevity and his skill. He played for Handball, a local league team, against a National League Div 3 team in a pre-season friendly. And this was, back in September? August,
yeah, you were
like
there
that.
watching it. They carved it.
Yeah.
These young athletes were running around us.
But, and I was watching the game, doing a bit of media, and then I was watching a bit of the game, and I was stood there with Steve Davison, and we were like, you can see Jax's ability, with no disrespect, at 47, arguably the best player on the court still. Against the National League Div 3 team. It was like just the handling, the passing of the ball. It was like you could still play National League if you wanted to.
Don't listen to him, Mark.
You could still play National League.
Man.
Look, that's what I said about LeBron in I think it was the last episode. I said, the older he gets, the more respect I have for him.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate his acumen.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what he brings to the game. They're the subtleties. It's the looks.
Yeah.
It's the way you hold the ball. It's like when someone does a great presentation.
Yeah.
And they pause. And they wait. And it's those moments that you go, you can't teach that. That's experience and knowledge, and it's hands on the ball, and it's time, and it's making a few muck-ups.
It's also having a breather. Hold the ball, you have a breather.
Yeah. Well, but that whole, even just that mentality of get the ball, dribble. It's like just getting rid of that. Some of that's crept back in, I've noticed recently in some of the NBA games. People are just getting that ball and it's straight down. And you're like,
that's what they're taught now. It's like anyone who gets a rebound, go.
Really?
Yeah, I remember what my wife Rebecca was teaching at. She was coaching at Oakland Wolves. She did a little bit of coaching, and when she lived in London, and they're taught whoever gets the rebound at junior level, just turn and go, and everyone just fills a lane. There's no positions anymore. It's all positionless basketball. So you get it and go. You can run to the corners, you run to the slots, but now everyone should learn everything.
People are using the corners a lot more, certainly in the senior games. Yeah. Across all of the leagues, Eurobasket, everyone, they're all using that bottom corner now.
You can't leave shooters. Like everything changed when it went to no help defense on the ball side.
Yeah.
Someone drives baseline, you can't help off a corner, you stay at home. There's too many shooters now in the corner. So their mentality is you don't cheat off the help side.
How do you defend that?
Yeah, someone has to come from the other side. But then if you take people like myself and Dave, and we were playing Division 2 with Blazers, and we've been taught to help on any kind of drive most of childhood. Sylvain was telling Dave, don't help, and he couldn't mentally get it in his head. He's like, no, I'm gonna go and help. But yeah, it's just how basketball's taught now. Flatten the defense out. We tell our kids at college, I'm coaching that way now. I'm coaching that you've got to run wide and long and deep.
So how do you teach a child then? I guess there's an advantage to that, because back in our era, it was very much like you were a guard.
Exactly.
I was a forward.
Yeah.
And then as we all grew.
Wow, someone's just been in an accident outside.
Yeah.
It's probably my car.
Living in the city.
You told me not to park in that car.
Wow, But that, when everyone grew, it was a case of, I'm not a guard.
No.
But then everyone 6'6", like, well, I'm not 6'6", so
where do I fit?
Where do I fit? I'm not, but I just have to get more aggressive.
Yeah.
Whereas he could slot into being a guard and still actually then play that role.
Yeah.
Or play down low and have the back on that. So I guess the advantage of not having that position is that you're teaching people more of a rounded game.
Yeah, that's the aim of it now. You think every player should be able to handle the ball. Every player should be able to rebound. Every player should have good footwork in the post.
I don't want to see a 7-foot person get to the 3 and jack one up. I just don't want to see it. It's boring.
Like Victor.
It's boring.
Guy's 7 foot plus, man.
He's 7
winning
foot
many
5,
games.
and
No,
they're like,
not, though, are they?
yeah, well, they're 3 for like 12.
That's
or
the other
something.
thing that I watched.
3 and
I
12,
saw
I
an
think.
interesting post saying, I think it might have been Barkley or Shaq or someone that said, everyone's getting excited about seeing this 7'4" Victor in the league, and it's like, don't act like that's the only time you've ever seen a 7'4" guy in the league. Like Bol's been in the league some time now. Manute Bol's been in the league, but it's because he's 7'4" and he handles like a guard and he plays like a, that's what's so unique about him.
Literally, I saved that today. No word of a lie.
There you go, Manute Bol looking at Barkley.
Look at that, Barkley and Manute Bol.
I'll never forget Manute Bol when he caught the ball and put it under his leg. He like wrapped it under his leg and then passed it.
Yeah.
Those are the old school videos. Do you remember those VHS?
Like
dazzling
dunks and basketball boopers. That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
Or Come Fly With Me when it first come out.
And then went to the M1 mixtape.
Yes. There's another good documentary. So many
That was a good one. And
the rise and fall of M1, isn't it?
do you know what? The Full of Love for Basketball from Kobe, that one.
Yeah, that's good too.
Superb. He did a great job with that. It is very interesting how even people who don't play basketball can appreciate those in particular. A lot of sports you have to, I don't know if anyone would watch necessarily a football documentary in the same way they'd have well, maybe football's disadvantaged because that's pretty much a universal sport, but there's not many other sports like cricket or rugby or any of the other ones don't lean into it the same way people do with basketball players for some reason. I don't know why that is.
Sorry, I completely lost what your point was there. I was listening.
This is what I have.
I was listening to your words.
We're getting to the bottom of his list. That's what he's thinking.
I was listening to your words and going,
your wife,
what?
I feel sorry for her. This is what she gets. All you heard was...
No, I was listening. I was trying to work it. Anyway, right, Jack, so we're at the Trailblazers now.
Yeah.
So you've retired 5 times.
Yeah.
And then, so what was your favourite team? So you've played...
Thames Valley Tigers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
BBL, Thames Valley
Tigers.
With the best kit ever made.
Particular year?
Just
Paul James.
The second year when Tony Christie come in. I had a good bond with TC. And John McCord, I got to play with him, yeah. Just the camaraderie. I had big Stuart McKay, the Martin Godfrey, this dude bootleg selling DVDs out the back of his boot. It was fun. That was the fun team, yeah. I think, with PJ. Don't get me wrong, I had fun on all teams, but that one was where I felt most at home. Like the fans was ridiculous. We used to play at Bracknell Leisure Centre. It was called the Pit because it wasn't the nicest place. Now you look at some of these arenas like Caledonians and Sheffield's new arena. Man, it was Bracknell Leisure Centre. The floor was like concrete, but if you were in there, it was rowdy.
Brilliant.
The guys were right on court side. It was rowdy.
How many would you get in there?
No, we're not talking thousands. We're talking, I don't know, 600, 700 maybe. but they were loud.
You can make a lot
And
of
it was
600 people make a lot of
and
noise.
it was an intimidating place to play. Yeah, we used to play some teams back then. When you look at the stadiums they have now, we used to play Derby Trailblazers in some small pokey leisure centre, and it was loud. They were rough and ready team. Then I think probably the biggest arenas we played in was like Manchester, the MEN. Birmingham had what's the Birmingham one? Is it EIC or something like that, Birmingham? But we played in some big arenas in Brighton, but Bracknell Leisure Centre was rowdy. People used to hate coming to play at Bracknell.
Yeah. I remember hearing someone about the Portsmouth FC basketball club days saying Bracknell, it was the Bracknell Tigers in those days, saying it was always a tough away game. It was always just the home crowd was just like a bomb going off. I like the name The Pit.
Yeah, man, I used to love
going
it.
in the pit.
And then when we went to St Mary's, when we were Trailblazers, we were trying to find a court to play in, and we had to go to St Mary's Leisure Centre in Southampton. And to me, that was the pit, because that was a dive. Like, if you put the ball in the centre circle, it used to roll to the corner of the sports hall. You're like, this is not even level right now. But then all around the top was the balcony. So it just struck me as like a high school American gym where the kids would be up there. And our juniors used to be up top, and they would just be banging on the boards. I remember Brixton coming 45 minutes late to tip one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were, for whatever reason, they were late, and they were strolling in because they were Brixton Top Cats, and our kids were just letting them have it. They were, ooh-ah, yeah, and these guys were looking around to say, the hell is going on here? And then, we ended up smacking them as well. But the kids would just let you have it. St Mary's was quite a loud place to play.
So what happened there then? Why did the game just go, like, you've lost the game, you're late, you're lost?
Oh, yeah, they just showed up for the tip late. Well, they knew they were coming late. They just held on to the game, and the game started late.
I suppose it'd be amazing as the coach if they walked in the gym and the ref was like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like But I remember I learnt a rule when I was at Thames Valley. We got off the bus late against Derby, and I learnt the rule that, because I used to go out we used to get changed real quick, get out there, start getting some reps up. And he said, no one step on the court until we're all ready, because they're going to say as soon as someone steps on, they're going to start the 20 minutes. So we all had to go, wait in a change room. We walked out as a team, stood on the side of the court and stretched, like, off the boards. So off the laminate floor, the wood floor they put out with the poster boards. We stood around behind the boards and stretched. And then when we were ready, we stepped on. And then they were like, right, we'll give you 20 minutes now.
Wow, never thought of that.
They
didn't want us to go out and get loose because somebody wouldn't get 20 minutes.
There's another level, Mark.
I know.
There's another level going
it's just
on.
all those micro adjustments, isn't it? You got to make those things.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I got a good transition, and again, I'm trying not to blow smoke.
Please
in Jax's direction.
Yeah, please don't.
But my interaction with Mark genuinely was always, he's the main guard on the opposition, always. So it was like, I'll be honest, for 20 years, it was like, oh, freaking Mark Jackson. That was my thought process with Mark. And it was a bit like what you said about LeBron. And after a while, the longevity, and you get to a point, I suppose, when you mature, you start appreciating it a bit better. And I remember, and this is where the transition is, I remember there was a GB Masters tournament.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a bit of a switch where I started to think about Mark in that way, was when you started talking about your health. So you were...
Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester. So there was a GB tournament. I was playing for, I think, Solent or Winchester, whatever they were called.
You came up with Alan McDonald and that, didn't you? Playing for Winchester.
And you were part of the GB setup at that point.
Yeah.
And and you were telling me about your health and stuff like that. And that's where it's like, shit, no matter what, you want people who are clearly amazing basketball players to be playing and not worrying about their health.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, when the transition switched between Mark being a competitor and me rooting for him, almost in a way. I don't know if does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, as a fellow basketball player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than seeing each other as competitors, we're more of a community.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, do you want to tell this story with?
Yeah, I don't mind. I get it. Yeah, I think a lot of people know I had a brain hemorrhage, so I was in the gym, just literally working out at Pure Gym, getting ready to go to these Masters, and then a blood vessel just popped. Yeah, it was a bit random. So I felt like I had a headache and an earache. Thought I had a migraine, so I tried to drive home, and then was convinced to ring 111 and pulled over, and then the ambulance came and got me and took me up. They said, yeah, you had like a subcranial hemorrhage. You just had a blood vessel pop. So they said, literally, you're one of three. So like 1 dies, 3 gets brain damage, and somebody just gets a random pop and goes on with their life. And I just happened to be that guy. So I was in the hospital for about 3 days until I could start to move my neck, and then they sent me home. So 3 months off work, and then 3 months later I'm back at work doing part-time, and I wasn't allowed to play basketball for about 4 months, 5 months. But yeah, that's when I saw you at Worcester, because I was supposed to play in that tournament with my teammates, and they were like, well, you can't play. So I went up and just was kind of asked to coach one of the teams on the sideline. But yeah, it was a bit like, wow. But then all the controversy starts after, and all the conspiracy theories, because I had my second vaccine. So everyone was like, oh, you had a vaccine and it gave you a brain hemorrhage. I'm like, here we go. Here we go. Here comes all the conspiracy theories.
No.
So no, it was, I haven't had any problems since. I'm back playing. And yeah, it's until you mentioned it, someone mentioned it at work the other day, that I've just forgotten about it. Just gone on 2 years ago now. You just think, right, it happened.
So you're not going to get hit in a game,
No.
go down and go to the ref, oh, and they'll be like, really, mate? Not really.
Nah. I haven't tried it at work either. Gone, oh, Kev, my head's banging today at work. Can I go home? I haven't tried none of that. But no, it's
wow.
It's
mate,
like
one
something
of three,
that
though.
didn't. Yeah.
New perspective?
Yeah. You're a bit like, whew, dodged a bullet there.
Yep.
But then it was a case of, right, do you stop playing and you start getting paranoid that something's going to happen again? Or do you just live your life and go, well, I'm not stopping playing. If it happens, it happens. You know? You can't predict the future.
No.
If I wasn't playing because I was thinking something might reoccur, I think that would drive me more nuts than worrying about it.
So you don't know if it was anything that you were doing that caused this? It
No,
was
they literally said we can't figure, there's no blood clots, there was no like other cause for it. They said just sometimes a blood vessel will just pop and there's no reason for it. It was a bit random. I had headphones on like this, just skipping, doing some workouts, and then just my ear just started to hurt.
Wow.
Yeah, so they said that we can't give you a reason for it. Come back in 3 months, we'll scan your head again. And then they said the blood's all gone. You're back to just do you now. Go about living your life.
Yeah. The only, and look, I'm not going to get involved in any of the conspiracy stuff about this. The only thing
I'll say is it was a conspiracy.
No, yeah. I've heard a lot of people
say things,
go through stuff, and the advice they've got back is don't do anything for 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. Don't do anything, and it's like, don't do anything, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, you're still here. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Still
here, still playing, still. Yeah, it's not even a concern.
And then,
anymore.
You ever have any injuries in your playing career?
Got to be ankles.
Broke my nose. Yeah, rolled my ankles. Had like a lateral shift, which is weird.
What's
like
a lateral shift?
I was running. I remember I was chasing back down this left-hand base, like sideline, and someone passed the ball to the right of me. So as I was running to my left, I've turned my upper body to my right to try and steal the ball, and like a little bit of a bulgy disc, so my spine kind of just went like that.
Oh.
And I've had a bit of what they call prolapse discs, touching like sciatic nerves.
Okay.
So I've had knee surgery, like shaved off a bit of meniscus, but yeah, nothing to say that you can't play basketball anymore.
No.
Yeah, just wear and tear, isn't it?
Wear and tear. Well, you play basketball from 10 years old, you know, you can have.
That's what someone said. What do you expect your knees to be like if you've been jumping up and down like a lunatic for 20-something years?
That's going to be the problem with all the kids now.
Yeah.
With all the athletics in the game. That's why you're seeing everyone breaking things, bending things, and, you know, people who are like Jonathan Isaacs, like, 7 foot, 23 years old, had multiple leg injuries. Durant, look at all of them. They're all getting all these injuries because they're...
Well, Melo went down last night. He went down. He has had big problems with his ankles.
Yeah, it's the way that they all train. And
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
this is why they bring in this load management now, isn't it? Just to keep them playing longer.
I mean, if you're the owner and you've got money and you're like that money,
got a 10-year, 6-year contract with this guy.
Yeah.
Like look at Luau Deng was one of those guys that he made more money from not playing than you know, when he left the Lakers, they were giving him more money than he would have got if he played or something.
Britain's most famous basketball player.
Yeah,
in the
gotta
NBA.
be.
He was still getting
Possibly.
his money.
I actually looked up how many British basketball players there are in the States at the moment. It's loads. It was a lot more than I thought it was. It was tons. Have a look.
Yeah. There's just not many that make that break over. And as you were saying, Mark, about that feeder, it was always about the colleges.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so interesting nowadays, where they're looking in Europe, they're looking outside of those places.
Yeah.
And just because you go to one of those top tiers doesn't mean
you're
thing.
gonna make it. No. Cam Hildreth's out there now. I wish Cam Hildreth. Like, he's at Wake Forest, isn't he? His dad, Danny Hildreth, used to play in the BBL. He's now at he's coaching down at Trinity College. But his son, Cameron's a big name in basketball in the UK, and he's at Wake Forest.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I think he's obviously trying to make his name for himself and try and get into the league. But I see Cameron going somewhere in Europe.
Would you want to go in? I mean, I'm going to say, would you want to go in the NBA? I guess all of us would have. But would you want to go to Europe first and then go into the NBA?
Probably it's not a bad transition.
Be an interesting transition, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To go cut your teeth there for a couple of years. You think like Luka, he was 16 playing in Europe.
Yeah, and then
Cut his teeth, came over and was like 19, 20.
NBA is the easiest league he's played in, etc.
Because it's like, I've got more space, I've got plenty of time with things.
They don't call fouls.
Yeah.
What's
his flop on.
Watch on Disney that it's another Disney. I know you see you writing them down. There's one about the G League.
Sponsored by Disney.
I know. It's either Disney or like Prime. I think it's on Prime actually. It's about the G League.
Yeah, we're not giving Bezos any money.
No.
He can pay for the
advert. I haven't seen it, but
I've seen it pop up.
I've seen it pop up.
It's to do with the journey of the G League player and how the G League players trying to transition to the NBA and how hard it actually is to get a 10-year contract.
Even probably possibly harder for those guys because.
Well, flip it the other way. Have you seen Mac McClung in the G League? He's absolutely flying. He got picked. He won the dunk competition 2 years in a row, something like that.
No, 1 year. He only entered 1 year.
Was it 1 year? And he was going to enter the other, but then he.
So it's $100,000, wasn't it? That was more money than he'd made his whole season or something.
Yeah, then he got picked up by Orlando Magic, and everyone was like, "Oh, they got a dunk champion." They didn't do anything with him. Chucked him in the G League. He's like the MVP of the G League at the moment. But has he found his spot?
Yeah, like I did in Division 1. Yeah, do you want to go and play in the G League? Yeah,
that's what I was when you were saying about that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like he's found that's where he that's his
where
spot.
he lives. Yeah,
and he's brilliant in there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find this player now. I think I've found him. I hope this is him because I'm about to say these stats wrong. I'm very confident it's him. I absolutely love this story, which is Andre Ingram. Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
Is it the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So Mark, just for your information, this is two-time NBA D-League 3-point contest champion, two-time NBA G League Sportsmanship Award. Two-time first team All Patriot League, second team All Patriot League, Rookie of the Year, all team Rookie of the Year. So this guy is in the G League, in the D League, and he was playing with I don't know if they're called the Lakers, but they're playing with the LA team. Yeah. And he was coming towards the end of the career, and he was one of those.
The game you talked about, the old black dude.
Yeah, he was one of those characters that everyone just loved being part of, and he never got to play in the NBA. So what the Lakers did, they signed him for I think it was a 10-day contract.
Yeah, you can get 10 days.
Yeah, Magic Johnson signed him, didn't he? There's a video of him signing him.
And what was amazing, he came into a game, and I think he hit like 3 or 4 threes or something like that.
Oh, really?
Very unorthodox shot, but
he got the ball,
got checked
bam, went in. Bam, went in. And all of a sudden, everyone was like,
"Great game."
Oh man, this guy could he's hitting his shots.
I can't remember which it was. It might have been Chris Paul that met him at the halfway line when he checked in and gave him a high five. I can't remember who it was, but someone gave him some respect when he checked in the game. Yeah, but he was.
If you hit that one for that first three, if you hit that three, and that goes in, I'd be like, "That's it, take me out. I'm done. I want to live with a 100% record."
He was nearly 40, wasn't he? I remember him. He had like little grey tints in his afro.
I can't remember what number he was, but maybe it was 22. It might have been 22 or 24.
No, you can't be 24.
No, 22. Maybe it was 22.
I've got a feeling that sounds familiar.
But it was a great moment. And then I think they actually played him for a second game, and then it wasn't as memorable, that one.
No.
I think he
spectacular.
threw up like three shots, none of them went in, or something like that. But anyway, that story popped in my head whilst you guys were talking about that. But going back to that transition, so
Yeah.
right, FIBA,
Yeah.
GB,
Yeah.
what's all that like for you?
So, you know about the program because you were trying to get into it as well.
Trying,
Yeah, you were in the 40 plus, aren't you?
yeah.
So the FIBA GB came around after these Masters tournaments that we will all go to in Norwich and play. Nicky Shaw sent out a post saying there's a European Championships coming up in Malaga. We want to send a team from Great Britain. So they had trials. So we went down to Kent and I tried out in Kent, and there was one in Manchester. And then they collectively brought a bunch of 40 plus guys together, ex-pros, like BBL and NBL players. And we all just competed once a month trying to get to Malaga. And then I went out with the 45 plus, trained, and then we spent 10 days in Malaga playing against Spain, Italy, Poland, Norway, and Switzerland. So we played like 5 games in 7 days, had a couple of days off here and there, which was it was a lot of fun. Big eye-opener to see how fit 45 and 50-year-olds still are, playing at a fast pace over
Especially
in
Italy.
Spain. Yeah, Italy were nice. And they beat us on the buzzer. This dude hit a 3 as he was falling out of bounds. It was tragic. But yeah, we played Spain. We didn't do as well as we wanted to. I think we went out there a bit naive to how good it was actually going to be. But the tournament was really set up really well. And now we've come back. I'm going to Murcia actually on Friday to go and play in Spain. So we're going out to play in Murcia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so myself and some of my teammates, there's 10 of us. You play 2 games Saturday, 2 Sunday, and then we'll fly back Sunday night. But that's just a tournament run out in Spain, so anyone can enter it.
So for your information, you'll get Masters tournaments in different countries,
Yeah.
all over Europe, all over the world. But you get the European Championships and the World Championships will just be a set thing.
Yeah,
So
because they just literally announced today, the FIBA just announced the Road to the World Cup. It's not World Cup, Road to the Olympics.
Yeah.
And they just announced the 4 places it's going to be. And it's going to be in Valencia, San Juan, Riga, I think it is, and a place I can't pronounce in Greece.
Oh.
There's the 4 countries. And that's going to be the feeder for the Olympics to go for France. Because that'd be quite cool next year, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The Paris Olympics.
yeah, is that what do they base the World Championships of the Masters on that?
No. What I'm saying is it's the same thing where they do it in different places. They have it in
okay.
different countries.
Yeah.
And that's all the qualifications, all the feeders for everything.
Yeah.
So
It's
this
good.
one
It keeps
next
on its
week,
toes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It keeps
yeah.
it moving.
this one next week's in Spain.
Yeah, we're going to Murcia. Yeah, we fly into Murcia, and it's a place just down the road, Cartagena. Is that how you pronounce it? I always spell it wrong. man.
Catania.
Yeah, so we're going down there to play. So there's 10 teams in the 45 plus. There's 50 plus, 60 plus. They play in a massive arena, and then it's
These
spread
huge
over 2
events.
courts.
Huge events.
It's a real buzz because when we played in Malaga, we played against Poland, and I'm looking at these guys thinking, man, that dude's old, and then like he hit a 3, or he's making his he hit another 3, and then when you talk to people, they're like, yeah, that guy played for Real Madrid for like 25 years, and he's the scoring champion in
And you're
Spain
like
for like
looking
5
at-
years.
He's
And you think, what, that guy? And then you start appreciating who's that guy? You want to
Yeah.
know more about these guys in this team. Like, where did you play? So when we watched the Spanish play, you found out that 3 of them played for Real Madrid, and then they went to the NBA. And you're going, well, I'm on the court with these ex-guys that made names for themselves, and they're still 40, 50-year-olds playing. I mean, there's 70 plus age group out there. Like, do you remember Ken Walton?
Yeah.
Ken Walton played 70 plus. These guys are getting
Wow.
up. Don't get me wrong, they're not getting up and down like rapid, but they're getting up and down the court.
They're not doing alley-oops.
They're playing zones, but they're moving the ball and shooting it. They're getting after each other. They're still just as competitive, like wrapping the ball up, trying to rip it off each other. They're 70, still playing hoops. And like, you think about it, I would never have thought at 50 or 60 I could still play basketball.
So you can
a
retire
stage.
every 5 years and come back and go up.
That's it. So yeah, 2 more years I'll be playing in the 50 plus. Hopefully they'll be a bit slower. My goal is to remain quick. so I can run around 55, 60-year-old.
If someone in the BBL now said to you,
Wow. Jax,
Whoa,
come back,
whoa.
BBL.
you got a 10-day contract,
Like, you're mad.
you got to come on
You're crazy.
and we're going to hook you up for a shot.
I'll just get a green light.
Would you take a 10-day contract right now? Go do BBL.
No, my wife would kill me.
Let's
I get
just say
responsibilities
it's
now.
10 days.
Yeah.
You got 10 days. That's
Depends
it.
on which team it is. If it's London Lions, I'm all
Ooh.
there. I'm there. I'm going to live in Canary Wharf for 10 days. My wife can come with me.
You go, I
That's what I mean.
got
We'll go on
free
holiday
Uber.
for 10 days, babe.
Free Uber. I'm going on a London tour.
But you get a 10-day contract. It's not about the money. It's about you got a 10-day contract. So you know there's a fixed limit. You get to get on the court and go and play at that level.
Yeah, I'll be all well up for that. Just to play on a floor with no lines. I said to you about missing the bus. The bus journey is one thing, but I also miss the buzz of the crowds. Like, you play local league now, Paul, and it's like there might be 3 people sat on the sideline on a bench, and you're sat there going, "Why am I used to do this because I wanted to win, but also to please the crowd and get the crowds on your back." Or like if you're away and you hit 3 and they boo, you're like, "Yeah, bring it on, keep booing." And you want the crowd was one of the reasons why you played. But now you sit and you think there's no one in these school gyms, and we're just playing in school halls
With badminton lines.
Yeah, so you have to take a different look at it, different
Yeah.
approach. I spend most of the time playing for handball, joking and laughing on the bench with guys. And it's like they're trying to concentrate on the game, and I'm just bantering everybody on the bench.
That's being part of the team as well, isn't it? You know, like you say about the competitiveness. But the thing you've always said about it is it was almost more about being on the team as being in the team.
Yeah,
You're part of it. It's part of something. There's a
Yeah.
camaraderie, and everyone wants to win. And there's a game time, but there's also it's bigger than that.
yeah.
Yeah, and like the away games, like you said, the travelling, sitting on a bus. People think you sat on a bus for 4 hours. And it's like it was such a laugh.
Yeah.
Just-
So what's the camaraderie of FIBA like then?
Yeah, it's pretty good. My 45 plus team, we all get on. We all went to Malaga. There's obviously some issues that went on over there. We've lost a couple of guys, but we retained the core group, and yeah, everyone's just got each other's backs. It's quite nice.
And now
It's
there
just
are
a bit more
rivalries within
civilised.
that because
There's
some
not
of you would have
now.
played.
Yeah, there's not now. There was. You might have seen. Like, I was training with people like Steve Gale that was at Wertham when I was at Solent. Steve Oak and Jimmy was playing with us, and he was at Towers when I was at Thames Valley. We all knew each other. Like, Jason Swain's now playing with us, and he was at Manchester. But there was never. Yeah, now I think we've all realised we're old farts now, and whatever bee you had in your bonnet when we were playing is not there anymore. We're just all happy to be playing hoops again.
Yeah.
And playing with people that have played professionally and have the same sort of IQ as you, but also aware that they've got to get over themselves a little bit. You're almost 50 years old. You should be grateful to be playing the game at 50 and not have some sort of prima donna. You can't be a prima donna at 50. Sorry.
So that sort of timeline, you're talking around pandemic and everything as well.
Yeah.
How much do you think the pandemic attributed to not the bringing the love back in the game, or getting on the court and that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Was there a?
Because I guess
A
we
little
didn't
bit.
have it for a year, didn't we?
No,
About a year,
the
wasn't it?
pandemic was. FIBA trials were before COVID.
Yep.
So we went and tried out as a team, and we're like, right, we're going to Malaga. And literally the year that they went into lockdown was Malaga. So we built for a year to get ready to go to this tournament, and they were like, it's not happening now. So we were like, brilliant. So we've worked really hard for a year. We're not going now. We've now got to wait for the pandemic to get over. So we couldn't train during the pandemic. So we were doing essentially just working out at home,
Well,
trying to keep in touch.
you could if you're outside.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That was the stupidest
That's
rule
it.
they came up with. If you go into a basketball gym, only 6 of you are allowed in the
Yeah.
gym. If we meet down the park,
we can all go. And
we
play.
were playing 5 and 5.
Yeah, they couldn't manage it. It was daft. So then we didn't play. So then we just waited. They did like these online challenges where we all tried to do fitness things on Zoom. And then we started our league out of lockdown. And then I played in that league that I arranged to get everybody playing again. And that's when we were a bit like, right, let's go. So there was always the goal of the European Championships. So that was what kind of spurred me on to get through the pandemic. I feel like I was in pretty good shape during the pandemic because I was doing workouts every day in the garden because you had nothing else to do, eating better, but you couldn't shoot hoops. That was the annoying thing. We set up this Facebook page called Lockdown Trick Shots. So me and 3 of my mates set up Jason Swain, Craig Soul, Chris Wright. We set up a a Facebook page. So we sent it out saying, right, if you're at home, send us in your trick shots. So people were shooting out of the window into their back gardens and sending us video clips, and we tried to design a T-shirt that we would do like a winner. We went live one time in the garden. I played horse against someone live in the back garden. Yeah, we tried to keep it going that way. Yeah,
we live horse game.
I played with my mate Craig Sorrell down in Bridport. He went live and we were just playing like horse. We were dunking on these low hoops and he had to copy my dunks, and then we were shooting off the wall with eyes closed, and people were tuning in to watch it. It was a bit of fun, but that got us through.
Is that still going now, like trick shots?
Oh,
that's a shame.
There was a Facebook page. I didn't know anything about businesses of Facebook page at that point, and we were trying to sell a T-shirt, like just saying, if you want a trick shot T-shirt. And then apparently, because we set it up as an advert, Facebook said that was a breach of their their regulations, where you're trying to sell stuff without going through their platform. So we got banned from running that page, and as soon as we come out of lockdown, it just kind of fizzled out anyway. But it was interesting while we did it.
Well, he hasn't played on the podcast world's most famous basketball ring yet, has he?
No. Not too far away, and you'll be on it.
Yeah.
Only two.
Taste the glory.
How many guests we've had on now? Got to be,
don't know,
10, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
Only 2 people have scored on that ring.
Who are those 2 people?
Steve Ware, Fury legend, and Emmanuel Davis.
Yeah,
E-Man.
He is third, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the third shot. I think do it on the ring
second,
closest.
The second one he almost went in as well.
Almost isn't in, Mark.
Well, that's what she said.
So FIBA, I mean, I've said this before. I personally don't think there is anything cooler than the FIBA GB stuff. Like you're playing for your country.
Yeah.
You've got everyone in it together.
Yeah.
You've got the under 40s hanging out with the over 45s, the 50s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We get Keith White on the show. And all these things. And then you go together and, you're all supporting each other, and then you go for a swim in the pool and have a beer. I just don't think there's anything cooler. And for me, that just sums up the spirit of basketball and what it's all about.
Yeah. We all stayed in the same hotel, hung out. I mean, we used to go up to the rooftop pool in the mornings and do like rehab. Guys were like walking up and down in the pool, and then other teams would come up and you'd all hang out. So yeah, it's really good. They have an opening ceremony. You'll experience it when we go to Italy, but they do like an opening ceremony where you walk around the arena with your flag and stuff, and everyone claps, and
that's very cool.
It is quite cool. And then the whole point is to socialise. They normally set up like 2 or 3 social events. Like the Swiss ran a party last time, so you could buy a ticket to go to their parties, and they threw a party, and there was like at least 2 or 3 parties that were run by the organisation. So then all of the teams go to the same nightclub, have a few beers, have a few drinks, see each other, chat. Like even the Italian team that we played on the day, that night they beat us by 3. That night in the club, they're all wearing their Italy shirts and they're coming over, their arms around you. Let me buy you a beer. Let me buy you a beer. I'm like, dude, you just beat me. Get off me. But they honestly don't care. They're just like, you have a beer. Yeah, you're very good. You have a beer. So it was pretty cool.
And look, Mark, just to put this in perspective for you, is you've got what 10 teams maybe from GB going over to the tournament, but then you've got I don't know, say 10 teams in each league, in each division. So it's a load of people.
I love the fact that it's not restricting that age.
Yeah.
Because you just see a lot of professional sports have a shelf life.
Yeah.
And every player, you look at them
playing,
and they're talking about them like, oh, they're halfway through their career. They're almost at their peak now. And you go, they're 28.
Yeah.
You mean they're at their peak? That's their prime age. You think, that's because that's where their basketball knowledge meets their athleticism.
Yeah.
So what? Like, a player is way more useful, and the basketball is just as entertaining for the players as it is for the crowd.
Yeah.
That's great to see, and great to see people wanting to participate in it.
I don't know why this hasn't just popped in my mind. The podcast should go on tour.
Yeah. We said this a few shows back.
You should bring it over to Italy. You interview different people from different countries would be brilliant.
Yeah.
You're going to do the Spanish translation, Mark.
No, I can't do that stuff.
I learned
one word when I was over there. It was called Gambio, which means switch. We were literally stretching in all the way. Gambio. And I said to the guy in America, what the hell is he saying? He means change to the other leg. I was like, Gambio. I was like, that means switch. That's all I learned.
So have you got a signature move, Mark?
Not really. Oh no.
Other than the driving in,
Yeah, and hooking people.
hooking.
Other than
Oh
the leg.
no, I don't
I don't know if I'd say signature one. The one I relate to Mark the most is, you know, he drives in, bam, kicks out, and I can actually visualize it in the game that you played at Portsmouth Force. I can recall you doing it like 3 or 4 times, like driving in, making that contact, bam, out to the thing. I think Ryan scored from that actually.
Probably.
To the right. That's the one I think of. But he's annoying because you can't make him go. It doesn't matter if you put him left. So we've played him before and someone's going, make him go left. It's like, what are you talking about? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what's your signature move, Mike? You got
I
one?
don't really have one. No, I used to love a spin move. But that's about it. It's drive and kick. Then I went to America and driving kick became shoot.
It is funny when you hear one player talking about another player. Like, they do this, they do that, and they're thinking, I do that?
Yeah,
remind me
think
like when
yourself,
you're saying,
yeah. I
when-
remember when you said kick out, I was like, I remember that play. I drove to the left, took a spin move.
you could see you thinking.
Guy went up to block my 3 and I kicked it out to the corner.
That's when I was like, oh, I said, Jackson's still playing. And it was like, he's National League. Let's see what this is like. And it's like, that move happened. I was like, wow, he's still got it,
Yeah.
Steve. Steve, he's still got it. But, so FIBA's just around the corner.
Yeah.
I think you might have a tournament in Croatia. Are you guys
I'm
going
not
to the one in Croatia?
No, I
I
won't.
think that's in April.
Yeah, it's too expensive. We just had a child, so like my wife's on
congrats.
not as much money as we would like at the moment.
How
with
many is that?
maternity
We can edit
Okay.
that part out
No,
if that
she-
saves your health.
No, well, no, I've got 3 now. So I've got
Oh,
a
wow.
16-year-old, 10-year-old, and my son Carter was born. He's 5 months.
Welcome to the club, mate.
Have you
Welcome to the club.
Have you got a little one as well?
I've got 3, yeah.
Ah, nice. Boys?
2 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah, see, yeah. 3 boys. She's in Canada literally right now with him. She flew him over to Canada to visit her family.
Awesome.
She took him on a plane, 5-month-old. She's very brave. So I'm gonna look at my phone when we're done here to see how many messages I've got.
Wow.
But,
That's
I'm surprised you've not looked at it already. Like
I've left it over there.
most of our guests, it's like bling.
I'm literally
Bling.
looking around going,
the
I've left it
greatest
over there.
offender of that was another Team GB.
Yeah, I was
gentlemen.
going to say Andy
Andy
Rowlands.
Rowlands?
He was
Yeah.
looking
Oh,
all the
what a-
time. He was like that. Hang on. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Be home in 10, love. Yeah.
yeah, no, I could, yeah.
I think it was
imagine.
Candy Crush he was
I think he
on
was
about.
getting news.
I think it's going to be
alerts
more
and-
Painter asking me why I've not dropped off his clothes yet. I said, Painter, I'll drop it home and when I'm on my way home about 8:30.
Oh, good luck with that.
Oh.
Then he should have messaged me and gone, Jack, you realise how long these podcasts are? He
Listen,
knows. He was sat here.
hey, we barely said a word. You just gas bagging all the
Yeah.
time.
Sorry.
Well, I don't think we'll be doing our due diligence if we don't say,
No.
if there's anyone listening who wants to sponsor GB, by all means, email ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com and we'll get
Yep.
you,
We'll
I
put you
guess
in
we'll
touch,
put you in
yeah.
touch with Nikki.
Yeah, they're looking for sponsors, aren't they?
Yeah.
So even if it's a small amount, even as low as something like £200, £500, £1,000, I think that's the categories that they're hoping to do.
Yeah.
It was
Which
something
is
like that,
it's
wasn't it?
nothing
Yeah.
really
It's
for
like a kit sponsor or shooting shirt sponsor.
yeah.
Because,
So
I mean, I think it goes without saying, you touched on something there, and you mentioned to me off air a few weeks back about, oh, well, I've got to go out to this place. Yeah, but it's a bit expensive.
Yeah.
People are paying to go represent the country.
This is it, yeah.
And I saw something recently about where money sits from Sport England
Yeah.
and where money gets funneled into different sports.
Yeah.
Your basketball doesn't get anywhere
No,
like the funding.
it's ridiculous.
Compared
way
to
down there.
even it gets lower than horse riding or yachting.
Yeah, these privileged sports.
Is it above badminton?
Oh, I haven't checked that.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I've got to find that one
Find out if it's above badminton.
If that's about
That is
badminton,
a disgrace.
It is stopping some people not wanting to play like Jason Swain, who came to train with us. I mean, this guy's a Manchester Giants legend, scorer, would be brilliant. And his one words are, if he has to pay to play basketball for Great Britain, he's not playing. Like, but I understand we're at our age now when our own GB men's and women's team don't get funded as much as they should, and they're in their prime. Like, I understand. I don't expect Great Britain Association to pay for me to go out, even if it's a contribution. Like if we get sponsors, it cuts my fee in half.
Yep.
Brilliant. I'm willing to pay for my flights out to Italy if something contributed towards my hotel.
Yeah.
You know, if they gave us all our clothes for free, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Like our 2 match kits, our tracksuits. If that was free, I could live with that. You know, because I think it should be. If you're going to make me wear your logo, give me it.
If he does get in, I want your missus. I'm going to say you got to video him unpacking that.
No, I my understanding is you. I think they give it to you and do it like a little thing.
No, I need it because you're going to be crying.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's
You're
a lot.
giant
there's a lot
man, baby. You're going to cry.
Sessions.
There's
a lot of
gonna be
sessions to
tears.
go.
I'm looking forward to you coming out now, man. It's a lot of fun, dude.
Well, he might come as well. You never
in
know.
the same hotel. We meet for breakfast in the morning and hang out. And
The only way I'm getting on a pitch is if they still allow streakers. Other than that, there's
man, there's like you'll have to make your way around the place. There'll be like 10 courts going on. There's like literally 10 or 12.
What are the courts like? What are
The ones in Spain, they're nice.
Because obviously Spain's
They vary.
massive for basketball.
Some have got arenas around the outside of them. Some are just like leisure centres. They vary. Some have got like 3 courts alongside. Yeah, Spain, they were, how many courts? Yeah, there was one. There was like 6 venues in Spain spread over, and there was coaches taking people to and from the games. But yeah,
I reckon my theory of if you want basketball and a few other sports like ice hockey and stuff, they wanted that to really take off in lots of other countries. It is just building arenas. Because he said like if you had 100 million, he'd buy an arena. Like you said about Caledonia and stuff.
Yeah.
If Portsmouth had a decent venue that was 2,500-3,000 seat at least, maybe 5,000, a proper arena that you could do multi-sports or whatever's going on in there, you'd fill it.
Yeah.
And that's not just in Portsmouth. That's just, you could do it in other places.
If I win the Euros, the Portsmouth Fury are going in the BBL.
You said
Fact.
it was, wow.
Fact. Or the Portsmouth Pirates. It'll be one of those.
That would be cool.
Pirates.
Or the Solent Smugglers.
Nice. Spin. Did you watch that Caledonia documentary on BBC?
Really good.
That billionaire just came in and was like, wow, just make it happen.
Yeah.
And in like 2 months' time, there's an arena built.
That is like Glasgow Rocks. Change that over.
Edinburgh Rocks.
Yeah. Then change that into them.
Caledonia.
But that even that arena, they've done the same with Bristol now.
Yeah.
So Bristol are building one.
Sheffield's just got a new one.
Yeah.
This was one of my points for the BBL update on Wednesday. But one of my points is one of the owners of the BBL said not a day goes past where he doesn't get a phone call about a prospectus team trying to enter the league.
Good.
Interesting, isn't it?
Well, they clearly listen to us. Just saying.
Anyway, right. So to finish that little segment off, if you want to sponsor FIBA GB, UK Basketball Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll get you in touch with the people who really for businesses and stuff like that, it's peanuts, anywhere between 200 to $1,000. You can have your name on the kit, logo on the kit, whatever it is. And you know what? A crap load of people are going to see it. A crap load of people are going to be talking about it.
It's a cool thing to talk about.
Hey,
just
if they
say,
sponsor,
I've sponsored
because of the
team.
podcast, we'll get them on the podcast. That's a good little thing, isn't it?
Do a little advert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a little jingle.
We'll honour that. If you do it through us,
we
will honour that.
We will bring you on.
Play their jingle on your little advert.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Cool.
And they can give us some free stuff as well, unless they do things like shoes.
Right. I got two more things for Jax. And it was just saying I thought this was really entertaining. Was the list of celebrities also includes famous actors of Game of Thrones.
Oh, Neil Fingleton.
The big guy.
He played it. Neil was at Thames Teesside, 7'6". This guy was huge, man. We used to come into reception and play them, and he'd be stood in reception leisure centre, and his head would be turned to the side so he could touch the ceiling. But he was massive. Yeah, I played one season against him. If I'm right, I think he played in North Carolina. I think he played at UNC. And then like you say, he was the ice giant in Game of Thrones.
Wow,
it's nuts.
Not many people can say they played with an ice giant.
No.
Played against him. I remember he caught it in the paint. just kind of held it above his head. And I remember just standing there looking like, oh, there's no point jumping in there. Just plop it in, mate.
Yeah,
Let me take the ball out of bounds and go the
what
other
can
way.
you do for that?
Do you know you've said this thing before where is it 5 points or 7 points of contact between you and anyone else in the world?
Yep.
Do you know you actually are 1 point contact away from someone in Game of Thrones as well?
Me?
Yeah, you and me, which is Alfie Allen. Played Theon Greyjoy. You haven't watched Game of Thrones, have you? Oh my God.
No, I don't watch it.
What?
You know Theon?
We don't know him.
You know someone who knows him?
We went to the same school with him.
Oh, wow.
So we were OJs of, it's not around anymore, St. John's College.
Yeah.
But when we left, he became a first year.
Ah.
So we kind
Game
of
of Thrones
one
is
step
shit.
away.
Game of Thrones is awesome, mate. You need to watch it.
I watched it. I think I was like second season, I think it was, and there was things going on. It's like dragons and boobs, and I'm like, oh, this is all right, but just
Don't slag off Game of Thrones.
It was just
on this
it
show.
got a bit long. I'm not
Yeah.
very good with like TV shows and series. If it's a film, I'm there, I'm in. But
Yeah.
then it's like there's an end.
There's some episodes though you have to just start the next one. Don't you?
Yeah, amazing. With the exception of season 8, it's
Yeah.
like
I
it's
do-
amazing.
I do have a funny story about Game of Thrones though.
Oh, go on.
And when I flew to Minnesota, it was on the season finale of the final season of it,
Yeah.
showing the final episode or whatever. And my boss at the time was actually, he was a massive fan of it. So we flew in, and in Minnesota, they're actually on mountain time,
Oh wow.
like Denver
Yeah.
and stuff. And he got or whichever way around it was, he got the time wrong. So he put the telly on thinking, I'm going to watch it. It's coming on any minute.
Oh, live, you mean?
Turned it on, boom, and it was right in. There's a certain scene 20 minutes before the end or
Oh,
whatever,
no.
and it gave it away. And he was like, "What? It's on?" And then he just watched the last 20 minutes and saw the big spoiler or whatever it was, and
Spoiler alert.
absolutely just
Schoolboy error.
good.
Yeah.
Schoolboy error.
He deserved it.
Right. He needs to look up his times, Mark. He needs to be more prepared. Right. So you got Mark Jackson's career. What else could he do? He could create his own league. That's what he could do. And that's what you did.
Oh, you mean the summer league?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we did it off the back of a little brand that I set up. I got bored in lockdown, so I set up a little brand with a friend of mine, and then my friend decided, he didn't have time to do it. We set up a little company called All In, and then we ran this summer league. We've done it now. This is like the third or fourth year, I think. We run it for 10 weeks in the summer over at Solent Sports Complex. Get some women's and men's teams in, get them competing. We've tried to do some YouTube videos. We try and commentate like yourselves on each game. We haven't got the equipment that you guys
Hold on,
have got.
that's you.
Yeah.
Why did I never put the 2 and 2 together?
Well, do you follow us, dear?
Following Mark.
Yeah, there we go. We need to get it up higher, though. Big
Well,
shout
that's
out,
what she said.
allin.uk. Yeah, so we set that up. Rerun coaching and sell some clothes and stuff.
Yeah, because you've been at some of the games.
Yeah, we did the Mickey Burns t-shirts and
Yeah.
that, didn't we? Yeah. So we sell team wear and match kits and hoodies, but we run events and we run the Summer Classic. So yeah, it's just you could call it a side gig.
So the summer league's the build up for a couple of weeks, then
And
you
then
have
the
the
Summer Classic,
big tournament.
which is the weekend tournament and bank holiday in August. And then that's in any men's and women's just get together.
So even
play.
like team from Newcastle come down and play. in that.
anyone, yeah. So what we're trying to do is grow it now that we can offer like hotels. We'd love to hold it somewhere like places in Eastleigh, which is a 3-court, so that we could do we can offer hotels right on literally as you come off the motorway. So that's something we're trying to grow every year. We're trying to make it bigger and better, invite teams from different parts. We're going to reach out to university teams to try and get them involved because it's the end of the year, etc. Or we might run it in May. We haven't decided yet. But yeah, we run the summer league for 10 weeks and then it runs into the classic. Keeps us busy in the summer.
Wow. So what's the aim? How many teams you want?
The summer league, we find the way it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to run a summer league unless we had a 3-court venue. We were looking for a partner of sorts to help us financially to run the league, to take care of like the hall hire, Because if we wanted the facilities of the places for 3 courts, we could get way more teams involved. And we don't want to charge the teams an arm and a leg to play. We want them to play and then not have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, 10 men's 12 men's teams and 6 women's teams we had playing over 2 courts from 6 to 10 on a Thursday night. But we'd love to have a...
You can spot the player who's arranging a tournament because they're like, I don't want the players to have to do this.
Yeah.
I want the players to do that.
Yeah.
It's
like,
like,
I want to play
exactly. You've got the players' head on going. Whereas
it's
someone who would just be like, I'm pure chairman, they'd be like, no, they can pay. That's all right.
We want the
Bring your own water.
big corporation partnership to come in on us and be on long term.
Are you going to offer sponsorship on those?
We offer out sponsorship for the weekend to put on team shirts, and we put banners down the side of the court, this, that, and the other. So there's opportunities for companies to advertise. And generally, if they advertise one year, there's a board made for them. It generally goes up every year. So it's like, you can, even for 500 quid, you'll get your board up, but your board will probably go up every year. So you're going to benefit that way.
And if someone wanted to like get in touch and sponsor, where would they go?
You could email us at, you can email me at mj@allin.uk.com. So that's my email address, or info@allin.uk.com. Anybody wants to get involved with it, or the website's www.allin.uk.com.
Allin.uk.com.
Yeah.
Well, everything I've heard about the tournament, everyone was raving it from Portsmouth and stuff like that. I think there was one team.
We had Portsmouth Jam from our summer league.
And you had the uni guys went up as well.
The uni guys
so that's some of the Fury players went up there.
Yeah. Everyone gets a summer league jersey that's reversible. They all wear, so they don't wear their own kit or t-shirts. We give them a vest, so they'll get a flip side like a practice jersey, white, and a coloured side, and they wear those in their games.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so it's all logoed up and branded up.
Yeah, what I like about it is you get all those characters come out as well. So you get like Mark's playing the Teasdale brothers, Steve Davison, but they're also playing with the university guys from Portsmouth, who some of them are National League players. So the actual standard is pretty good.
You get some Americans that are over at Portsmouth. You get some Americans that are at Bournemouth. Like the MVP was an American that played down in Bournemouth. He's now playing Russell. He's playing with the Kestrels.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
So he was our MVP. He was awesome.
He almost played for Portsmouth Force.
Did he?
And then he switched. I think if it's the one I'm thinking about, he switched like the week before the
skinny guy with tattoos.
Yeah.
He played.
His guard.
He would have played in that Mickey Burns Memorial game.
Yeah. So it's to be honest, it made sense. He's from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Why would he go and play Div 3 when he can play Div 2? Kind of makes sense, and it's closer.
Yeah.
And he gets to play at Solent University.
Yeah.
Just to play on that court is a bit of a luxury.
Well, there you go. So if anyone is interested in playing, or even sponsoring, get in touch.
So when's the next sort of tournament's going to be?
It'll be in June. It's always the summertime.
Yep.
So when the season's over, then we arrange the summer league. So it's June sort of time. But if anybody wants to get involved and get in touch and likes the opportunity, then wants to see what we're doing, then get in touch.
Do you do like a run-in period, or if you want to enter, you've got to enter at a certain time of year?
No, you enter. Oh no, so like the build up to it.
Yeah.
The build up will probably be around April time.
Okay.
We'll start publishing it out then and get teams involved, and then they can choose to enter for the 10 weeks. And at the end of it, we have like a presentation evening and stuff.
What about international teams?
Yeah, it's hard for them because it'll be every week. The Summer Classic, we'd love to have anyone. Like
I challenged the Italian team Masters team to come and play.
Like this,
let's just
go for that. Then.
See if they can run with a 20-year-old.
I don't think they can. Let's prove me wrong.
But like with Nikki's Masters that she runs, we'd love to run something like that. Not the GB Masters because that's Nikki's,
Yeah.
So is finding courts the hardest thing then? That you're saying?
Yeah, like Solent Sports Complex. Although it's a beautiful court, it wasn't the greatest last year in terms of like organisation and stuff. One of the backboards got broken. It didn't get fixed for 6 weeks, so we had to find an alternative venue. But then places down in Eastleigh is 3 courts. We could pull all the curtains back and have 3 games going on. They've got a restaurant, they've got somewhere for you to sit and view. So it would be a perfect venue. But I think literally for the whole room, which is 3 courts, the whole arena.
Yeah.
They want nearly £1,800 a day.
Ooh.
So you're looking at like three and a half grand.
That's
for
all
All
those
those comes down to
just
the
for the
same
weekend.
thing.
It's all the
Basketball
badminton.
courts, biggest
But like
cost.
you get a $5,000 sponsor and you brand up everything around the outside of the courts that covers it. It's doable. You know, a big company paying $5,000 to get their boards all around the outside, then you're not having to charge everybody so much.
Yeah, that's a real. Again, goes back to venues. If there's venues, there's arenas and
And then
places
you need
to do it.
refs. Then you need refs.
Because obviously, you look when you're in the States. I'd imagine at college level, even the college teams, their stadiums are massive.
Yeah,
That's a college.
more money.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll sponsor next year. You never know.
Yeah, it'd be
Wow.
awesome.
I know you're looking in the.
You can come and commentate. You can
Yeah.
capture the games.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
You'd be saying brick, another brick.
Although, actually, you say that, but I shouted airball
That's what
and
I
got a dirty look from the ref at one of the Force games.
Wow, you are sat. You know,
Because of
with-
where I was.
with
I wasn't sat.
Officials,
I wasn't sat with the official. I was at by the door, and then someone did it, and it's like, yeah, they didn't like that at all. It's like, I'm not an official. I'm not anywhere.
No.
I'm just someone
You come
watching.
to the Summer League and commentate the Summer League. It's fun. Elliot
Yeah.
Dads and I sit behind the microphone and we just rip into everyone.
Are
It's
you?
fun.
Are you is this commentating live or
Yeah, so I-
commentating onto YouTube?
Just live, yeah. So
both,
the
I guess.
iPad's set up, and then we've got the little microphone, so we go live on YouTube,
Oh,
and then we
okay.
commentate live while it's going on.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, definitely.
It'd
I'm
be
up for
fun.
that. I'm up for
we'll
that.
Get you down. It's a lot of fun.
I really enjoy, and half the reason I did it was because when the Portsmouth Force started the National League setup, I just wanted to be involved in something, even if it was just turning up with a big drum. I just wanted to be involved in it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't play that level, so it was. I just want to be involved. So when they wanted a court manager to do the announcing, I was like, yeah, I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
So it was after a couple of goes, maybe 4 games, it was like, this is actually really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's well a laugh.
Yeah.
And
Your
it's just
biggest criticism is that you don't get to watch the game. That's the thing he
Yeah,
moans
it's tough
about the
though.
most.
Because you end up just watching and then you forget what you're talking about.
it's play by play.
Yeah.
That's your I mean, you'll probably understand what I mean by this, but you're so focused on the play. Like, oh, I have my hand on a button here. Right, someone scored. 3, 4, Mark Jackson.
Yeah, yeah.
That was an American accent. I
It
should have
was.
done that. But yes, you're really focused on the play.
Yeah. You've always said, like, I want to just go sit in the crowd
It'd be
and
great
enjoy
to
the
see it,
atmosphere.
experience it.
Just
Read the tactics, wonder what's going on.
I do love it. I really love the intros. I don't know if the intro for the away team, I've got this, who are you, who, and it repeats that. And I'm just really monotone, like, number 9, Mark Jackson,
Yeah.
number 12, like that. And then
bordering on a
obviously-
bingo announcer.
Obviously the,
You get hyped up for yours.
yeah.
You guys turn the lights off and have the smokes, all that stuff, because
well, the
they don't
lights,
do that anymore.
the
man.
lights go down.
Yeah.
We did actually do it for the mixed memorial
I
game.
remember.
But it was so bright outside. The windows are over the court. You didn't actually notice. But for the
Yeah.
home games now, when they turn the lights up, yeah,
Pitch black.
it goes pitch black, and then you get
That's
the
cool.
yeah now. Anyway, you get
That's
the
the way
idea.
it should be. Yeah.
But I
that's
really
it.
enjoy it, and it's being involved still. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you want us to come down, we'll come down. We can do a live podcast there maybe.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that would be
So-
Get
fun.
you involved.
But we
man.
are
That
we
would be
are
fun.
actively trying to do a live podcast at a BBL game now. So that's the plan, isn't it? Trying to.
Yeah, that'd be good fun.
So
It would be good fun. It'd be nice to raise it up a little
we
bit.
have applied
oh.
to the London Lions and do it in the copper box. Just awaiting reply.
Oh,
Just waiting for that.
bated breath. Yeah.
You went straight to the big gun.
We went to the big
Well,
yeah.
the problem is, you go to the league, then you go to them, and
Yeah.
then they all get put on the same list.
Yeah.
And all the other ones, they're I want to say, probably the second most local, but certainly one of the most accessible teams for us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
based on the South Coast. So
But when we put the
if you're going to go somewhere, let's go
when we
there.
put the application in, the numbers now have like, we put it in. It was like, oh, we're getting, what is it, 10,000 downloads or something like that.
It's like we're in the 5,000 to 10,000 sort of bracket or everything. It's like, oh no, we're in like 35,000 now.
Yeah.
It's like a different ball game.
Yeah. Jumped up. a
So
notch.
maybe
But-
we put a new application in.
Well, I think it's a shame because what is sad is when you look at the numbers of how many people watch a live stream and so forth, there's sometimes 1,000 people watching it, or 5,000 or 6,000 watching some of the competitive games, and you think they're putting a good product out there, but there's a disconnect between people watching.
Well, I think that's why
I don't
people
know what
like the BBL thing, because we take out the BS and just say what we think. That's what I think.
We do have our own BS that we put in.
Well,
as well.
Mark, taking out the BS. So I said, Mark, you both looked at me then like, right. What do you want first? Do you want the 1 and then the 5 and the pint, or do you want Mark to shoot first?
I want him to shoot first because it's going to throw him
Mark,
off.
is that all right? Do you want to take a shot and I call? Let him do the.
What do I do? Take the headphones off?
Let him do the one everyone else has done. It's not fair to make him do the other.
Oh yeah, you're not doing the normal.
Right. We have got Mark Jackson now taking the long walk to the line. Let's have a look. Oh. Let's have a look. Is he going one-handed? Oh, hang on, Mark. You're using the wrong ball. That'll be impossible. You can use that one if you want. Yeah. Front of the rim. Oh, it's gone in. That is the first. Wow. That's why he played in the BBL. Rimmed out. Almost 2 for 2. Wow. No one has ever scored that second shot.
Because I haven't answered in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, we are totally leaving
Well,
that in.
I made the second one.
Maybe, Mark, we should rename the second shot the Mark Jackson shot.
That's the
Or the
Mark
Action Jackson shot.
That is it.
It's got to be.
The Action Jackson.
Yeah.
The Action Jackson. Thanks, Mick Burns, for cursing me with that name, Action Jackson.
Do you want to say that story as your last story?
That's my
Where the name came from.
Right. Mick Byrne, Brixton Top Cats, Kiss FM, underground station at the time, spin move, Action Jackson. That was it. DJ said Action Jackson. Mick
He would
Burns
have picked up on that.
Oh, Action Jackson. That was it. He just ran with it. Cheers, Mick.
And he'd have been calling you that to take the mic,
Yeah.
and then it just stuck.
And it stuck.
Next time he saw you, did he say, hello, Action? You're right. Yeah.
That's all you used to get after that. Action.
Legends. Right. Mark, over to you. Sorry, Mark Chester, over to you.
So, you know the drill. You've listened avidly. Who are you passing the ball to take that clutch shot?
Michael Jordan.
No hesitation.
I know it's a cliche, but I've seen him. MJ.
Not going for a modern player, you're going MJ.
Yeah, because
Is there a year of MJ?
I think others, I don't think they all have the killer instinct like MJ. MJ couldn't care less if he missed or not. He was shooting it regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going with MJ.
Okay. That's a nice and easy one. The tougher one. 5 and Pine. You got your 5 players and your 1 on the bench. And because you're a coach, the rule is you have to pick who's coaching.
I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to say, because
Yeah.
your BBL history here, NBA history, players he's played with, who's he going to go for?
I'm wondering if he's going to put himself on the bench.
Ooh.
He's going to
Right, so
make
this
himself right in.
this 5, are they competing now? So like the 5 guys I played, would I expect them to play in a game now?
No.
This is just your
Okay.
favourite players.
My
Yeah.
favourite players.
This could be
Okay.
your favourite players. It could be
Alright.
whatever your top 5 and 1.
Okay, well, I'm going Steve Nash at
Wow.
1. Big fan of Steve Nash. I
That's
like
his
the way
first
Steve Nash played.
entry.
First entry.
He's going at 1, yeah. Steve Nash is at 1. At 2. That's tough. Where are you going to put MJ? If I had to choose, I'd have Kobe on one side and MJ on the other. 2, 3, and 2 and 3.
Right, so
4 and
you have
5.
Steve in the middle, Kobe and MJ.
Yeah. Because Steve loves to pass the ball and the other 2 like to shoot. 5, I'm going Shaq. He's a beast. And 4, I don't know though, Shaq or Jokic. That's tough. I'm going back in my era. At 4, just because I'd like to see them play together, because it would be hilarious. I'm going to go Barkley. I want Barkley, Shaq, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe and Steve
Wow.
Nash. What an hilarious 5. Just for comical
Who's
value.
on the bench?
So we make that even more fun.
Andre Ingram.
Kurt Rambis.
Kurt. Oh my
Kurt
lord.
Rambis.
You brought him up actually, didn't you?
Kurt
You were-
Rambis on the bench. Just for comical
You brought
value.
him up about with the mullet.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember about Kurt Rambis is he took that nasty foul from Bill Lane Beer when he got him around the neck on that breakaway layup and just threw him to the floor.
Yeah.
And he got up and tried to fight.
No, it's not Bill Lane,
Yeah,
but that
man.
was a
Oh, no,
Celtics.
it was Rob Parrish. It was Robert
It's,
Parrish. No, it's
McHale.
Kevin McHale.
McHale, that's who
McHale
it
got
was.
him around the throat.
That was
yeah.
after Bird turned around and said, "You played like a bunch of sissies."
Yes,
And then
yeah.
McHale was like,
We'll have some of
let's
that.
see.
He put Rambis on his ass. Yeah, there you go. There's an interesting 5 for you.
Who's coaching?
Alan Cunningham.
Wow. The legend. The legend.
I'd like to see.
Wow, you
I'd like to
stitched
see,
Alan up there,
I'd
haven't
like to
you?
see Alan trying to manage that lot.
How are you going to manage that? Jordan playing with Barkley and Shaq
Yeah,
and Kobe.
yeah.
Like who like literally Steve Nash, who's going to pass the ball to?
He's
Is no winning.
Yep.
If you pass the ball to Barkley, actually, that's the comedy move.
Who are
isn't
you
it?
subbing off for Kurt Rambis when he comes on?
Shaq. We'll just take Shaq out, give him a breather.
Oh dear.
That's hard. I needed time to think about that. 5, my top 5. There's so many to choose. That's a conversation to have for.
But we
An
have
hour.
so many different people. But look at it. Ryan did who was playing together, didn't he? He really took that analytical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who's going to have the chemistry?
That's an hour-long conversation right there.
I'm fairly sure Ryan put LeBron straight in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
Straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
See,
he's
I
the
have
most dominant player. That's what he said.
I have MJ on the bench, and I still stand by that
Yeah.
because the utter seething rage that he would have being on the
Set
bench.
bench would make
Did
you
you like
play.
whisper in his ear, you're a bench player?
You're going to play behind LeBron.
Just watch
Yeah.
him when he comes on. Yeah.
No, that is the most dysfunctional 5, but it would be hilarious to watch play.
Actually, you know what? If you want to think about an alternative 5 for that, and think about it for ages, why don't you do the GB Masters tournament in Spain and come back on and tell us all about the tournament?
Yeah, do
I'm up
that.
For that. Yeah, it's cool.
And then,
that.
And I'll
and
have
then
a
you can have
proper
a
think of
proper
my
5.
5. I'll pick the 5 Italians that probably play that. No, I'd have a better 5, yeah. No, I'm good.
Awesome. Brilliant. Wow. Mark.
That was very cool. Very, very cool. Thank
Appreciate
you so
you having
much
me.
for coming in.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
Whenever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Press that
I'm in charge of these buttons, but I'm always kind of trying to work out when to press them. So Mark, thank you very much for
You're
coming
welcome.
on the podcast. That was a great show.
That was brilliant.
That was a great show.
Yeah, and that'd be really cool if you come back in, tell us more about your decisions in life and basketball.
Yeah, cool.
Well, I hope it's been fun for you.
No,
I
I've
hope
had a
it's been
great time.
fun
Thank you.
for all the listeners. And if you haven't listened to any of our other shows, go back and check them out. We've got at least 40 shows now. I don't know why or how, but we have. I've been Mark. It's been Paul.
Yeah, I've been Paul. And if you play badminton, just don't do it.
Mark,
Ever
are you
again.
Oh, Mark's in there on the badminton.
I like playing it for a bit of fun, but the lines have no
Whoa.
business.
It's like a child's
being
sport,
on the
isn't it?
court.
That is a terrible thing to end on.
I don't mind playing badminton. It's a tough game, but then lines don't need to be on the court.
You just crossed the line right there.